Today, we're going to dive into some of the top-rated school districts in Spokane and what makes them really stand out. So if you have school-aged kids or are just curious to invest in a good neighborhood with great schools, this is the video for you. Welcome back to Living in Spokane, Washington. If you're new here, my name's Hunter McKay, and I'm your local real estate broker. With over 10 years of industry experience and insider Spokane knowledge, I'm here to share all of my insights to make sure your move to Spokane is as smooth as it can be. Let's dive in. One great thing to know about Spokane is that Spokane Public Schools was given a district-wide designation to be a district of distinction. That was only awarded to 6 other districts in the entire country, meaning that on the whole, all of our public schools are rated incredibly strongly when you compare them to other states. When I originally moved to Spokane, my parents wanted to put me in a private institution because we had come from Las Vegas, where public schools simply were not as highly rated no matter where you went. Your options were a bad public school or a good private school. And so when we came to Spokane, we assumed it would be the same. We could not have been farther from the truth. There are amazing and talented and wonderful public school systems right here in Spokane. And so if you're not excited about paying a private school price tag, don't worry, you don't have to. It's really more about picking the right community and school vibe that you think your child will excel in the most. One of the first schools we're going to talk about is something in the North Spokane area. It's called the Meade School District. A lot of my friends and family went there because, well, I lived in Meade for a great portion of my childhood. It covers Colbert and a good portion of North Spokane, and it is consistently ranked as one of the top performing schools in the Spokane area. One of the things that sets Meade apart from others is that 65% of its students place at or above the academic average for math and sciences. This is a pretty strong rating and can be pulled and compared to other schools on Great Schools or Niche. Both of those websites will be provided in the links down below. The 2 biggest sections of the Meade district that are usually highlighted are the Meade High School and then also the Prairie View Elementary program. Both are really well sought out by families, and I have a lot of clients who move into the area and specifically say to me, I want to live in Meade. And there's a lot of locals who work really hard to be able to afford a home in the Meade district, because choicing into the program if you're outside of the boundary lines can be difficult, mainly because it's a popular school, and so class sizes tend to be full. Being one of the major contributing school districts to the north side of Spokane, you see that there's a common blend of families in the Meade area, primarily because of the larger homes, the larger plot sizes, and the proximity to the schools that they want to be a part of. Second school that I want to talk about is Central Valley. It's quite a bit farther away from the Meade area, completely different zones of town, and really completely different neighborhood vibes. But it's fantastic to know that you can pick a completely different neighborhood and still have a top-rated school district. Again, this is one where people come in from out of area and they say to me, I want to live in Spokane Valley. I've heard fantastic things about the Central Valley School District specifically. I want to go there. Very recently, they've also had a new high school built called Ridgeline High School. It is still part of the Central Valley School District, but it's meant to offer an additional high school to take some of the overflow because the Central Valley School District has been growing at such a high rate, primarily because of its extremely high academic standing, and both locals and people from outside of Spokane wanting to move into the Valley area and causing the school districts to grow. The Ridgeline High School is recently built, amazingly powered with new tech, and is surrounded by an incredibly high tax basis, which, as we know, property taxes go to fund the schools locally, and so that can be a huge contribution to the budget for the school to work with. Another factor of people moving into the Central Valley School District is that there's a lot of larger homes, just like we see in the Meade area. We see a huge domination of 4, 5, and 6 bedroom homes in the Liberty Lake area, really intended to service these larger families that are moving in. Liberty Lake and Central Valley are pretty close together, separated by only a short drive on the highway. And then beyond the Central Valley High School specifically, you also have University High. It's certainly an older school, but still a very well liked academically. The third school district that I want to talk about is Spokane Public Schools, or District 81. Now, District 81 has a huge breadth of schools in it. We're only going to talk about a few of the high schools today, but the District 81 is one of the largest districts in Spokane, and overall, each individual school is going to change both in its requirements, its class sizes, and the academics that it focuses on. And so you really want to take a look at great schools in the link below to make sure that you pick the school that most aligns with your core curriculum and school values. One super interesting part about District 81 is that they do have an IB program in the public school system as well. So if you were thinking, gosh, I really liked the idea of an international baccalaureate program, but I don't want to pay the St. George's cost, that's okay. District 81 has a program for you. Because District 81 is such a large and diverse district, there is almost always a school that fits every different child. My niece did not do well at St. George's, not because she's not brilliant, but she just didn't fit with the rigorous behavior and the vibe that came along with her particular class. She wanted something different. And so she went into District 81 specifically because she wanted to go to a charter school. And there are a lot of amazing charter schools that get funded either on long-term or temporary basis, depending on which programs are doing best. But she went to an amazing 4-year high school that was a charter school, and it was just completely different than anything out there, but it was still funded with public funds. It is incredible the diverse programs that are available when you're willing to do the digging, because District 81 is a choice school program. And so if you are in the District 81 boundary but find that one of their other interdisciplinary or vocational schools would be a better fit, you can choose to go there as long as the class size is not overwhelmed at that time. There will always be a primary focus given to already enrolled students, and so there is a limit to these class sizes. But if there is space and you can get your child into those special programs, that can be a really big benefit for certain families that are looking for that more specific educational style. On the more traditional side, we have Lewis and Clark High School is one of the crowning jewel high schools of the District 81 area. When I was in high school, I had a lot of friends who went there, and the biggest competition that we had in theater and musical arts always came from the Lewis and Clark department. They have an incredible theater department that has won national awards for everything from singing competitions, jazz, or their musical theater and stage plays. It is also highly rated for academics and located in the downtown Spokane core, making it extremely convenient for a lot of different neighborhoods to service into. It is a beautiful campus and an amazingly historical part of Spokane, and a really well-liked high school by those who live in the more downtown and surrounding core sections of Spokane. One of the schools that I want to talk about is my own alma mater. It's St. George's School, a private school that is not Catholic in any way, shape, or form, despite its attributions to a St. George. Having gone there for, 5th grade to graduation, I still genuinely don't know why we call it St. George's. It is a school with a rich history of Spokane locals, where a group of farmers got together in the 1950s and bought land from Louis Davenport, the then developer and landowner whose family later developed the Davenport hotels that we see downtown. It is a beautiful 144-acre campus in North Spokane. It is a private institution, non-denominational, and welcomes all faiths and all demographics. I really enjoyed going to school there. It can be a little on the pricey side, but it has world-renowned academic standing and is now an IB program. It was not an IB program when I went there, so I have no information on what an IB program could be or does for your children. That's definitely a great info for you to research on your own, but I can attest to the amazing contributions the student, faculty, and teacher communities all pour into each other. It is a school unlike any other, and one that I personally have attended, so I can give it an A+ rating and say I really loved going there, and a lot of the alum who come out of there become incredibly powerful community members, both locally in Spokane and abroad. I would be remiss if I did not speak about another private school at this time. St. George's is not the only private education that's available in Spokane. It's just one of the only private non-religious opportunities. Gonzaga Prep is a high school preparatory academy that is available for freshmen through seniors, and it generally tends to be a feeder school into their university. There's a huge overflow from students graduating from Gonzaga Prep and choosing to go on to Gonzaga University, and it is a Catholic Jesuit program. It is a wonderful school to be a part of, and one that many people choose to send their children to instead of St. George's. St. George's gets a lot of folks kindergarten through 8th grade, and then there's a big choice to be made, and we see I don't want to say lines drawn in the sand, but we see big commitments made around that moment where we lose usually 15 to 20% of our class at St. George's who goes on to join G-Prep. It is a wonderful school known for highly rated academics, and the biggest shift between Gonzaga and St. George's is the religious component. And so if that religious component is important to you and your family, you're not going to find it at St. George's. Not that there aren't religious families that participate in the curriculum, it's just not part of the curriculum. Where at Gonzaga Prep, there are classes taught by some of the Jesuit priests, and that can be a big contribution to certain people who are looking for that education. Gonzaga Prep and St. George's have fairly similar tuition prices. However, the costs are not identical. So you will want to look into both of those schools if a private academic education is something that you want for your family. Fifth school district that we're going to talk about is back to a public school district. This one is Freeman. This is out in South Spokane, servicing a lot of the more rural communities out in the South section and sections of the South Hill that are more suburban. It's a wonderful school district that has mastered the small class size student-teacher ratio. It is known for its close, tight-knit community values and huge contribution from community members to make the school go round throughout the year. Yes, it is incredibly well-funded as well, but it is really the community engagement and activism that keeps the school alive. It is a wonderful place to be. Freeman is a great school that is ideal for families who are looking for a tight-knit rural community setting, but not wanting to sacrifice on academics. We see a lot of folks who come in from out of area and are previously not engaged with the larger class sizes that you might find in the Central Valley, Meade, or District 81 areas. Not that they aren't amazing educational programs, but some people would really like to know that they're a smaller class size. Freeman is going to really toe the line on that and making sure that each student gets individualized attention from the teachers who are participating in the community. And this is proven in the fact that the students regularly test above average on all standardized testing for that school, and it continues to perform really well in recent years. While it seems like this might be a lot of different school options to choose from, we have only covered maybe a quarter of the different options. It's really important to dig into the different districts and what each school has to offer. If your focus is elementary, you might be choosing a different place than you would if you were focusing on high school education and rigorous academics. There's also a noteworthy amount of both private, religious, and non-religious preparatory academies. And we didn't even talk about things like the Oakwood Classical Academy, a school that I don't have a lot of familiarity with, but is frequently highly rated on its placement into colleges. Whether you're prioritizing academic rigor, community, tight-knit feeling, or the extracurricular activities, there is a school for every person here, and it just takes a little bit of digging through the resources that we've provided in order to find the school that really clicks with your style and your commitment to your family. If there's ever any questions that I can facilitate, please drop them below in the comments or send me a private message, and I will be more than happy to get you connected to the right school resources that exist around the city. For detailed information on any of the schools that we've spoken to or any schools that you find throughout the Spokane area that you're interested in, the best place to go is their individual school websites. I also find that contacting the school counselor's office and asking questions directly about programs that would allow your child to choose in if they're outside of district can be innumerously valuable. Recently, discussing with Ridgeline High School in specific on behalf of a client, I was amazed by how ready and available the staff were to answer all of my questions, even though we didn't have a student that was directly transferring in that week. They are always super helpful and happy to accommodate all requests, and that's one of the things that I appreciate about the school systems in Spokane is just a rigorous outpouring of support and help from both the faculty and administration in making sure that children are placed where they will thrive the best. Thank you all for sticking with us to the end. This has been a great video. If there's anything that you feel like I missed or anything that you said that you disagree with, please drop a comment below and let us know what your favorite schools are and why. If there's any help that I can provide families moving in from out of the area, just drop me a comment or shoot me a message directly and I'm happy to help. Thanks everyone. We'll see you next time.